It's a dark day for the anime industry. That is what a lot of people are currently saying when this news came out about 20 or so hours ago. This is, expected, and the response and what everybody is saying about this is very much expected, but to just see Toei Animation kind of leading the charge of this is definitely something that is pretty surprising. So let's dive headfirst into this, and let's just talk about what this actually means for anime going forward. So, I'm gonna show a post here from Pew Piece. Pew Piece is probably one of the most popular or well-known leakers for One Piece. They usually give very accurate information when it comes to the One Piece community, when it comes to the manga, anime, etc. They know what they're talking about. So, seeing this account post this, it is very credible. This is 100% happening, especially when you tie in the image of what Toei has apparently posted about what the, statement is about. So let's read what Pew Piece said here, and then we're going to get into what this all means. So according to Toei Animation's official site, which this is what it was pulled from, they plan to use AI in the future of productions for storyboard creation, coloring, automatic correction of Ginga and in-between frames, and generating backgrounds from photos. Now, this post pretty much doesn't go really too far in depth with it, but this post here that was made later on, which was in Japanese here, I'm assuming this was pulled from Toei's site, and if you look at it very closely, you do kind of like a little bit of a peek here, you will see that Precure is being showcased here. You have a movie that came out, I think, a few years ago where a background was used and ran through an AI, and you can even see on the left side of the image to where, like, there is storyboards that is now being used by AI as well. This is the English translation of it for those that want to know what's going on here, but basically every aspect almost of, like, the project of working on anime, well, maybe not 100%, but a lot of it is now going to be used by AI, and this is the exact fear that a lot of people have had for a very long time when it came to AI, and let's talk about that. So, I've been very vocal about this. AI is the future. Even if you want to hate it and disagree with that, it's going to happen. I have talked about this considerably, and anyone that tries to act like AI isn't going to continue to evolve and integrate itself into our programs and how things are made are lying to themselves. It's evolution of technology, and as much as you want to disagree with it, it's what's going to happen. It's kind of like you go back over 100 years ago, I'm probably not accurate with the number, but when you had the technological boom of, like, factory jobs, actual, like, industry lines and stuff where you no longer need as many factory workers, you could just use machines to make stuff. That's basically what this is, and I'm just being blunt. As technology increases, stuff like this will happen. And it's sad that people are going to lose their jobs, because that's exactly what this means, but it is reality that it's going to continue progressing, because at the end of the day, companies are going to find any way they possibly can to save as much money as possible and make as much money as possible while delivering a product that people will buy. So, let's get into more detail, like, kind of dumb this down and what this exactly does. So Toei is apparently partnering with AI technologies, and there is information that came out a while back that apparently Toei is going to be working with companies that, do AI and stuff. Now, with this post, I want to point out something that's very interesting and might alarm a few people. Toei mentions, at least on their site, that Toei will make much heavier use of AI in its productions. For example, storyboard creation, coloring, automatic correction of Ginga or in between, and background creation directly from a photo. This line right here is pretty alarming for a lot of people. Basically, this means that already Toei has been incorporating AI for a while. We don't necessarily know how long they've been doing it, but it's very clear they have. They straight up admit it. So what this theoretically means is that now with how it's being used, they're planning to use it a lot more to be able to have these tools to get these episodes out quicker. Maybe that is one of the other reasons why One Piece was delayed for so long, is because they wanted to get up and ready to be able to use this technology. Maybe they were teaching their animators or workers to be able to use this technology when they make episodes, for instance. Now, I'm not saying that One Piece is being used for this, but it's very likely, since Toei never necessarily said they're using it just for one series, they're just planning on using it in general. So, we could effectively say that they probably have used AI on it. We don't know. I correct me if I'm wrong. If there is a statement to disprove this, please let me know in the comments below. But at this moment, though, the storyboarding section is what is really concerning a lot of people, because that is basically the backbone. That is the backbone of an anime episode. Like that's the beginning, basically. That is the start of working on an episode. And if you're using AI for storyboarding, it basically means that the very skeleton of an anime episode will be done by an AI. That is basically what is being said here. And obviously, there's a lot more details when it comes to making anime. I know that, with voice acting, and you have stuff with, like, you know, doing sound design and all that. And yes, I'm aware there's a lot more to anime than just storyboarding, but, like, when it comes to animating an episode, storyboarding is one of the most essential parts, probably the most essential. So, seeing this fact that they're going to be utilizing AI just for that alone, that's where we get into an area where major animators are going to start getting replaced. Like, we're not even talking about simplifying content of, like, doing in-between frames, or even just coloring things automatically. We're talking about full-blown episode structures, like the bone structure of an episode being done by an AI. And maybe corrections by animators, but that's, pretty scary. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously, thanks to this information that came out, there's already a lot of people that's doing stuff like this, basically saying that, you know, anything that Toei works on now, it's already done by AI. Does this look AI generated to you? Obviously, this is a pretty good clip that, you know, came out for One Piece, and you can already see that this clip got, you know, community noted. This was also posted literally yesterday when this news broke, so you can already see people pretty much utilizing this type of stuff. Now, all I'm gonna say, regardless of the situation, is that, this was gonna happen. As much as you dislike it or love it, whatever, this was reality. So yeah, I mean, at the very least from what we could say right now, this might be too broad of a statement, but I would probably say that this is the end of the Toei Animation that we all know of. Like, this is the end of the current Toei Animation, or the previous, and they're going into a completely different direction. Take that however you will. But I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. May all of you have a fantastic day or night wherever you live. Be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.